Okay, so I actually fucking hate talking about my emotions and talking about anything having to do with that, so this is... I've been like... Okay. So, since yesterday, I was trying to think about what I can possibly even make a video about, right? Because I have off this week because of Jewish holidays, and I was like, I want to make a video. I don't know what to talk about because I don't want to talk about anything emotional. Originally, like, I had thought yesterday, like, what if I make a video about what it's like living with a double life, because it's not something that most people do, and I thought that would be interesting, but I like talked too much about my family yesterday, so I'm like so done emotionally about that. And I was like, maybe I can read a poem. Clearly don't have that either. So I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna sit in front of the camera and I'm just gonna talk. But I was vaguely thinking about talking. I was vaguely thinking, wow, it's not about. I was vaguely thinking about talking about what it's been like since I started defeminizing myself. And so yeah, that's what. Let's go. So I should probably explain that, because I feel like when I first started doing this, when I was like, I'm gonna give up makeup, I'm gonna give up this and this, a lot of people were like, you shouldn't give up who you are, because of what society thinks and X, Y, and Z. And originally, I mean, like, part of the reason why I wanted to give up something like makeup, I'm just gonna use that because I feel like that's been my focus in terms of like this channel and stuff. Originally, yes, part of it was because, you know, society deems makeup as feminine, but it's not only that, but also after a while it started causing me a lot of dysphoria and started like being a huge problem for me. And I think deep-rooted, a lot of these things are because society kind of has this binary and like rules about what's feminine and masculine, and then that's what you associate it with, and things become hard and whatnot. Yeah, my life, I guess my interests too have also kind of changed, and it's not, I should probably make it clear that I'm not doing, like, I didn't decide to give up a lot of the things that I did only because of society, but also it does, like, I'm not just thinking like, you know what, people are, you know, like, people are gonna judge me, but also I know I'm not the only one who thinks like this, because I've spoken to a couple of my trans friends about this. It causes a lot of dysphoria. It, like, things like my hair, for example, I'm growing it, I'm keeping it long, and I want it long. That's how I want my hair, because I don't think I'd look good with short hair. I know I hide it a lot behind a hat, and I think because I struggle with how I feel about my hair, because long hair is usually deemed feminine, but I know that that's something that it's hard for me to give up, and I feel like so restricted with my options when it comes to it. I got a haircut yesterday, and so my hair is actually a lot shorter, really short, and you know, if I were still presenting feminine, it wouldn't be a big problem, because I'd just like rustle it and like make it voluminous or whatever. But guys don't do volume, do very boring, like, narrow hair styles. I feel limited in my options. This, when it comes down to it. Other than that, I don't really have any big problems. I know I have friends who kind of miss things like, you know, being able to wear a larger amount of clothing, because, you know, but I don't have a problem with it. I'm actually relieved. I feel I'm happy with men's clothing. I am, and that's all I ever wear now. It's also kind of hard because I'm not out, and so, you know, it's a little concerning to my parents. They're like, why do you only wear men's clothing, or why do you dress this way, or whatever. But I feel comfortable with that, and I feel comfortable with masculine shoes. I feel comfortable with a lot of these things. I actually, since I've given up makeup, since it's a topic that I've mentioned, being in a makeup store, being around one, causes a lot of internal issues, and the only thing I can describe it as is just like discomfort, but to an extent that like it's dysphoric. Like I just feel uncomfortable, and I don't even know how to explain it other than it kind of causes a lot of dysphoria. But I'm not angry at myself. I'm actually so relieved I spent so much money on it, that I'm actually kind of happy that I got rid of it. And there's a lot of things that I enjoy, but at the same time there's like I feel limited sometimes about like things like my hair, or things like I'm scared to wear certain colors because they're, you know, not that I mean usually my clothing isn't that bright, and my glasses are probably like the brightest thing that I have. But sometimes there are certain things, like I want to wear certain socks that I feel like my socks right now, my things that I wear, they're sushi socks, and I feel weird wearing them because I got them from like the women's section because I have little feet, so, and I shouldn't be ashamed of wearing them, you know. I'm like going on about the binary, and that can make an entirely separate video about what it's like, what I feel, my opinions on that or whatever. But basically, when it comes to having had defeminized myself, because I haven't really spoken about this, I just kind of went from super high femme, oh god, it's crazy for me to think about, really high feminine presenting, to one day being like, well, it wasn't one day, it was a lot of thought that went into this, and it was a slow progression, but I didn't make a lot of videos, so it doesn't seem like that. But so when it, you know, based on my videos, it kind of just like one day I was like, you know what, I'm giving this up, and then next thing you know, I look different, I act different, I talk differently, but it's not, it feels natural to me, I guess. And I think it's because I'm in a place where I'm starting to understand who I am and who I was always meant to be, and so that's why it feels comfortable to me to have given up so many of the feminine things in my life. Because I feel like the reason why I was so hyper feminine was because I was socialized that way. And I did actually watch one of my old videos where I talked about how when I had a new crush, I would often dress more feminine and like present that way, because that's what I thought most people would like, and it's what I felt comfortable doing, because that's the way that I was socialized. I was raised to be a certain way. I was, you know, taught to really only live a certain way, so that's why it just felt like the right thing to do and like the safest thing to do. And so, I mean, it is kind of difficult trying to reteach myself and sort of like, you know, having to learn things all by myself. And the one thing that I will always be sad about is the fact that I never had a boyhood. I can make an entire separate video about that. That is a huge topic on its own. But I'm not gonna keep ranting. So just to sum it all up, it's been a journey, and I'm actually kind of happy that it's recorded on video on YouTube. Yeah, I deleted a lot of my old videos, but there were videos that didn't really talk about gender, so I did keep all the ones that, like, when I was questioning my gender and like what it was like with that, even if the videos were shitty and even if I look shitty, because I think it's important, at least for me. I think it's just interesting to like go back and like, this is how I used to think, and like things change, and I grew, and I sort of got in touch with myself a little more, and I stopped living for other people. That's another really big thing. I was feminine because I was doing it for everyone else, and finally at some point I just stopped, and now, you know, the way that I present, the way that I want to be is for me and me alone, and it feels awesome. I don't have to worry about anyone else. I'm not seeing anyone else. I'm not interested in anyone else, and even if I am, I'm not going to change myself because I think that they would like a certain thing, because I just don't want to live that way. It's not healthy to live that way. And those are my feelings about having sort of defeminized myself. I mean, there's things that I still do that are kind of, you know, in terms of like actions and like interests and whatnot, but like art is considered feminine. But yeah, things have changed, and I feel like they've changed for the better. So, if you've watched up to here, thank you so much. Subscribe, like, or comment, and you can give an individual their wings. If you subscribe, you can join my winged family. Social media is over there. My last video, which was my fall tag, which I enjoyed making, and I kind of wish that I had another tag to do today, because I don't like talking about my feelings. This is right below. I'm trying to get myself to start being open and honest and vulnerable on YouTube as much as I can be without making myself uncomfortable, because I think it's good, and I'm really still hoping that one day somebody will like see this and be like, yeah, finally someone who understands. Until the next video.